Are unicorns real? You'll believe it within the next 5 minutes. I guarantee it, or your money back. So unicorns, they're not just these fantasy things that we see in European imagery and all these kind of legends and lore and whatnot. Unicorns are actually in the Bible. The Bible talks about unicorns 9 separate times. It talks about them as incredible creatures of power, that they are unbridled. They are uncontrollable. You can't put a harness, you can't put a bridle on a unicorn and have it plow your field. Numbers 23:22 says, God brought them out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of an unicorn. Psalm 22:21 says, Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. Psalm 29:10 says, But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of an unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Job 39:9 Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow? Or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Which means you can't bridle the unicorn. Psalm 29:5-6 says, The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. He maketh them also to skip like a calf. Lebanon and Syrian, like a young unicorn. And in Isaiah 34, it just talks about them as a matter of fact, as animals in the hills. It says, And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks, and the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, blah, blah, blah. Like it's just another day with the unicorns hanging out. Unicorns are also used in prophecy, but that's kind of a whole different thing. So the Bible clearly speaks of unicorns as real, actual creatures, not to be confused with the legendary unicorns of My Little Stallion, whatever it is. There's talk of unicorns in other lore and legends and whatnot around the world as well. If you're a Bible-believing, born-again Christian like I am, and you believe the Bible, but everybody else out there is saying, oh no, what, you're crazy, you can't believe in unicorns. Well, let me take you to a little historical fella named Marco Polo. He was a merchant and a world traveler back in the 1200s. And he described all of the magnificent creatures that he saw out in his journey from Italy all the way to China, where he lived with Kublai Khan for a while, I believe. But he kept very good records of all of the things he saw, both in the legends from locals, but also in just the creatures that he saw along the path. And one of the creatures that he described was the unicorn. Marco Polo's description reads as thus. There are wild elephants in the country and numerous unicorns, which are nearly as big. Now, keep in mind, this is Asia, so we're not talking about African elephants. We're comparing them to Asian elephants, which are a little smaller. But these unicorns are nearly as big as Asian elephants. They have hair like that of a buffalo, feet like those of an elephant, and horn in the middle of their forehead, which is black and very thick. They do not mischief, however, with the horn, but with the tongue alone. For this is covered all over with long, strong prickles. And when savage with anyone, they crush him under their knees and then rasp him with their tongue. The head resembles that of a wild boar, and they carry it ever bent toward the ground. They delight much to abide in mire and mud. 'Tis a passing ugly beast to look upon, and is not in the least like that which our stories tell of as being caught in the lap of a virgin. In fact, 'tis altogether different from what we fancied. So, as you can tell from Marco Polo's description, he's not talking about the, My Little Pony. He's not talking about the cute little, beautiful white stallion with a horn on its head. He's describing something that's intimidating, ugly, roots around in the mud, is a giant. Is there anything in the fossil record or better that we actually have mummified remains of that matches that description on the continent of Asia? Why, yes, we do. It's called the Elasmotherium. It's an extinct genus of the large rhinoceros, endemic to Eurasia during the late Miocene through the late Pleistocene, existing at least as late of 3,900 years ago. Excuse me. I'm sorry, but if Marco Polo saw one of these things 800 years ago, I'm going to go with Marco Polo over whatever the theory is prevailing that these things have been dead 40,000 years. Marco Polo mentions them The Bible mentions them. Other legends and lore mention them. The thing that I appreciate about this is that Marco Polo's description is dead on to the Asian Elasmotherium, and the Bible's description of them also aligns with Marco Polo's eyewitness testimony. So, are unicorns real? Well, they might be extinct, and they might not look like My Little Pony, but yes, unicorns are real, and now you believe it. I'm Mike Miller. Thanks for joining. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share. Oh, and most importantly, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you believe in unicorns now, or am I full of crap? Let me know in the comments.